Welcome to Abundant Education, grade 3 to 5 writing class. Today, we are going to practice several important writing skills, using compound words in strong action sentences, writing better story beginnings, adding dialogue correctly, and writing clear summaries. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to make your sentences more active, make your stories more interesting, and summarize information without copying every detail. Let's begin with compound words and action sentences. On this page, we are reviewing compound words. A compound word is made when two smaller words are joined together to make one new word. For example, bird plus bath becomes bird bath. Rain plus bow becomes rainbow. Look at the word bank on the left. You can see words like eyelid, waterfall, lunchtime, springboard, rainbow, bird bath, keyboard, hairbrush, scorekeeper, and catfish. Now, for part 1, your job is to choose 6 different compound words and write one sentence for each. But don't just write a simple sentence like, I saw a rainbow. Try to include an action verb, which means something is happening. For example, instead of saying, the bird bath is outside, we can say, I scrubbed the bird bath and filled it with fresh water. The word scrubbed shows action, and filled also shows action. Before you write, ask yourself, who is doing the action? What are they doing? Where is it happening? Can I add one small detail? For part 2, we are practicing show, don't tell. That means we do not just tell the reader something in a boring way. We add details so the reader can picture it. For example, the boring sentence says, it was lunchtime. A better sentence might be, at lunchtime, my friends and I opened our lunchboxes under the shady tree and shared our favorite snacks. For I saw a rainbow, don't just say what happened. Show us where you were, what the rainbow looked like, and how you felt. Pause the video here and complete page 2. On this page, we are focusing on organization in stories. Organization means the parts of your writing are in a clear order. A story usually has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. On the left side, we are practicing how to write a bold beginning. A bold beginning grabs the reader's attention and makes them want to keep reading. There are several ways to begin a story. You can use a quotation, a sound word, a feeling of mystery, or a question. Let's look at the first pair. One sentence says, Joe was walking his dog in the moonlight. The other says, something was different about the sky that night as Joe walked his dog. The second one is more interesting because it creates a feeling of mystery. It makes the reader wonder, what was different? What is going to happen? For the second pair, notice the beginning with bong, bong, bong. That uses sound words. Sound words can make a scene feel more alive. For the third pair, the question beginning pulls the reader in. A question can make the reader think about their own experience. For the fourth pair, the quotation beginning starts with someone speaking. This can make the story feel active right away. Now look at the right side of the page. The story is called Mean Mauler and Me. We are given the beginning and the ending, but the middle is missing. In the beginning, Ben has to walk home past Mr. Warren's house, and Mr. Warren's dog Mauler chases him. At the end, Ben and Mauler seem to have changed because Ben cannot wait to see Mauler again. So the missing middle needs to explain how Ben goes from being scared of Mauler to feeling excited to see him. Your middle should include at least one exciting moment. Maybe Mauler gets stuck, maybe Ben helps him, or maybe Ben discovers Mauler is not as mean as he thought. When you write the middle, make sure it connects the beginning and ending. Do not add a random event. The middle should explain the change. Pause the video here and finish the activities on page 3. On this page, we are practicing how to write dialogue correctly. Dialogue means the exact words a character says. When we write dialogue, we use quotation marks around the words that are spoken. We also need correct punctuation. For example, I have to go now, said my friend. The comma goes before the closing quotation mark. For a question, we write, where are you? Asked my mom. The question mark stays inside the quotation marks. For an exclamation, we write, wow, the boy exclaimed. The exclamation point also stays inside the quotation marks. In part A, you will fix sentences that have mistakes with quotation marks or punctuation. Read each sentence carefully. Ask yourself, Where do the spoken words begin? Where do the spoken words end? Does it need a comma, question mark, or exclamation point? In part B, we are adding action beats. An action beat tells what the character is doing while speaking. This makes the dialogue more interesting. Instead of only writing, "Somebody turned out the lights," you could write, "Mia froze and grabbed her friend's arm. Somebody turned out the lights." The action helps the reader imagine the scene. For the cookie sentence, you might show the boy looking nervous, wiping crumbs from his mouth, or hiding his hands behind his back. For the pierced ears sentence, you might show the girl smiling, jumping, or pointing proudly to her ears. In part C, you will write a short conversation between two characters. Remember to include at least one question, at least one exclamation, and at least two different dialogue tags, such as said, asked, whispered, shouted, or replied. Pause the video here and complete page 4.
On this page, we are practicing summaries. A good summary tells the main idea and a few key details in your own words. It is shorter than the original text, and it does not include opinions or tiny extra details. For part A, let's read passage 1 together. Honeybees help plants grow. When a bee visits a flower to drink nectar, pollen sticks to its body. As the bee flies to the next flower, the pollen rubs off. This helps the plant make seeds and fruit. Bees also make honey, which they store in the hive to eat later. Now ask yourself, what is this whole paragraph mostly about? It is mostly about how honeybees help plants and make honey. Next, choose 3 key details. A key detail is important to the main idea. For example, pollen sticks to bees, bees move pollen to other flowers, and bees make honey. Then you will write a 2 to 3 sentence summary. Do not copy the whole paragraph. Use your own words. For part B, you will shrink a paragraph into one strong summary sentence. The paragraph is about school gardens. Remember, one sentence is not enough space for every small detail, so focus on the main idea and one important detail. For part C, read passage 2 about why leaves change color. As you read, look for the main idea first, then look for 3 important details that explain the main idea. Let's read it. In spring and summer, leaves look green because they are full of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll helps plants make food from sunlight. When days get shorter and temperatures drop, trees make less chlorophyll. The green color fades and other colors show through. Some leaves turn yellow or orange because of pigments that were already in the leaf. Other leaves turn red when sugars get trapped in the leaf. Eventually, the leaf dries up and falls to the ground. This passage mostly explains why leaves change color in fall. The key details explain chlorophyll, hidden pigments, trapped sugars, and leaves falling. For part D, you need to find the extra detail that does not belong in a summary. A summary should not include personal opinions, such as someone's favorite color, unless that is the main topic of the passage. Finally, the challenge asks you to write a 10-word summary. This is hard because you must choose only the most important words. Pause the video here and complete page 5.
This final page gives answers and sample responses. Use this page after you have already tried the work yourself. For the vocabulary section, check the compound word answers. For example, a brush for your hair is a hairbrush, and a fish that looks like a cat is a catfish. For the compound word parts, remember to split each word into the 2 smaller words, such as water plus fall, rain plus bow, and key plus board. For the organization section, notice that the stronger story beginnings usually use a special method. One uses a feeling of mystery, one uses sound words, one uses a question, and one uses a quotation. These methods help make the reader interested right away. For the story middle, the sample answer shows Ben slowly looking around and seeing Mahler lying down. This connects the scary beginning to the friendly ending. That is what a good middle should do. Explain how the story changes. For the dialogue section, look at the examples. The punctuation goes inside the quotation marks. Also notice how the speaker is named after the dialogue, such as shouted the cowgirl or said the proud girl. For the summary section, remember the most important rule. Include the main idea and only the key details. Do not include personal opinions or tiny details. For the leaves passage, the extra sentence to cross out is, "My favorite leaf color is bright red." That is an opinion, not an important summary detail. Great work today. You practiced stronger sentences, better story beginnings, dialogue punctuation, action beats, and summaries. These are all skills that will make your writing clearer and more interesting.